Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's your boy, Dave Sharpe, back in the saddle, back in the captain's chair this Monday. It is the 22nd of August, and wow, I think it is. I think it's August, right? Yeah, it's the 22nd of August. I get my months mixed up sometimes. So listen, we're going to talk about a really powerful, very simple topic today. I'm really excited about this. It's something that can help everyone, something everyone who's listening can benefit from this simple, powerful tip that Joe's going to share with us amongst his story, of course. Returning guest, please help me welcome to the show, Joe. What's up, brother?
Nothing. How you doing, Dave?
Good to see you, man. Wow, dude, you are like a major collector, bro.
I know. It's a bit of a problem.
Is that what is that? Games? Is that
No, they're all Blu-rays and DVDs.
Holy smokes, bro. I mean, I respect that. That's serious collecting, serious organization, and I respect that. That's anybody who can keep that many of one thing that curated and organized it's really something unique. So tell us just a little bit about it. What else do you collect, and what got you into collecting so many DVDs?
So I lived in a mining town for like 11 years. So I was in the middle of nowhere. And before I moved there, I actually worked at a movie theater for 5 years.
Okay.
And when I moved to this mining town, the nearest movie theater was 4 hours away. And that used to be my like weekend ritual. I'd go hang out with my friends, go see movies. So I'm like, you know what? I'll bring the movie theater to me. So I actually just built a theater in my house. And because
Nice.
I was so remote, the streaming wasn't all that great. So then I just started buying all my movies, and this has just been adding up over the years.
Wow, that's cool, man. It's cool. I mean, like it's kind of like comic book collecting. It's like watch collecting. It's like car collecting. Yeah, most people would think you're weird, but and you are, but that's what makes you cool. You know what I mean? So let's talk about online business. You're a returning guest. You were on the show, I think, earlier this year, but you only took the challenge in, I think, November or December of 2021. Is that right?
Yeah, so I basically kind of wrapped up with the challenge and everything around Thanksgiving. And then I got a really bad case of imposter syndrome and just being completely overwhelmed, where it
Mm.
took me unplugging for like 2 weeks going up to the ranch in Idaho.
Mm.
And I came up with like a content strategy, and I'm like, okay, I think the main thing I need to do is what I can control, which is being consistent.
Yeah.
So I came back, and I'm like, okay, I'm posting twice a day, every day for 30
Nice.
days.
Okay. And that was, give us a timeline of when about that happened. That was like in December-ish when you took that trip away and came back, or when did that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically came back January. I hit the ground running.
Okay. So you were on the show back in what?
Like February.
Okay. And where were you at then? And had you discovered, we're going to talk about the reposting thing, but give us an idea of I mean, we had asked you to be on the show because we saw that you were taking action and getting results and so forth. And so what was going on around February for you?
So I initially, like, I just kind of plugged in, like I leveraged what I was learning in the blueprints, went through the training, and then I'm like, okay, so I just need to double down, focus on what's working out there, do some research, make my version of my videos, and try to just connect with my audience.
Yeah.
And
How were you still dealing with the imposter syndrome, or did that settle down a little bit?
it did. So one of the things that that I read, and it actually really helped, is I actually would go to book reviews, because the thing with imposter syndrome is you just think, okay, well, this obviously isn't working for me. The way I tackled it is I actually went and looked at book reviews on Amazon for like classics like Pride and Prejudice, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and they will have like thousands of 1-star reviews. So I would just start reading some of those, and I'm like, you have classic books that everyone loves, and yet there's all these people that just hate it. So like, obviously you're not going to be for everyone. It's about connecting to the people you can connect to.
Wow. I didn't really realize where you were going with that. And that is really, really powerful, man. What a unique way to go um, and just get a different perspective in a way that's reframing. You just said, hey, wait, I mean, I can certainly look at this in the picture frame that I'm looking at it right now, which is only looking at my videos and only looking at what people are saying in my comments. And that's, if we only look at that, yeah, that's, whoa, hold on a second, this is crazy, that people are mean, my feelings are hurt, I don't know if I want to do this. And then you kind of pull your head up and start to, oh, hold on a second, let me go over here and see what people had to say about a classic book that sold millions of copies and made the author very rich and I love. Let me go see what people have to say about this. Oh, wait, there's tons of people being nasty in these comments. Wait a second, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's just the people, right?
Exactly.
Maybe it's people projecting their, I read, and I think I screenshotted this. Stop taking things personally. When you realize how many people cope by projecting, you'll realize that you're not actually the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's sort of like we it's easy to understand. Oh, yes, I understand. It makes sense. This person is drinking. He's got an alcohol problem. He must be drowning his feelings in the bottom of a bottle. That makes sense to all of us. But I don't think we talk in society enough about people actually also drowning their feelings out and dealing with their feelings by projecting them onto others.
Exactly. Because if they're projecting, they're not reflecting.
Exactly. So when did you discover this reposting magic? To me, it's magic. I mean, to me, it also, I was reading up a little bit of the info you sent in our questionnaire, and I I was blown away, and I want you to tell the story and talk about this. I was blown away realizing that each and every video that we make is a piece of content that could live on the internet from the very first time that we post it. But it also can be reposted and reused and recycled for months and years to come, because once it's recorded one time, similar to a picture that hangs on your wall and gives you memories about a vacation in your personal life for years, a video can be reposted and rewatched by others to create the same sort of result, which is getting them interested and eventually sending them into your sales funnel to take a look at your product. And so you discovered this and have gotten some phenomenal results with it. And so would you talk to us a little bit about this reposting? Again, it's powerful, it's magical in it, but it's simple.
Absolutely. So one of the things that was happening is like I had a couple videos that were getting like 400,000 views, and then I created this video, posted it, and it gained it grew unbelievably fast, and then it just hit a wall. Like I'd never seen a video hit a wall this hard, where it just like nosedived. Like suddenly there were no more views, and like I was like flabbergasted. I'm like, it was a great video. Like it had a great hook. It was short. Like it was everything that ticked all the boxes that TikTok wants, and I couldn't understand it. So I'm like, okay, well, like what did I do wrong? So then I went down the rabbit hole of kind of the comparison game. I started looking at other people, and I stumbled upon someone who just focuses on like TikTok SEO, and he actually was talking about in his video how he reposts the same video every single month, because especially with TikTok and the way the For You page is kind of built, it always pushes it out to new people. So it doesn't really matter how many times you repost the video, it's ultimately going to reach new people. So that was kind of the catalyst that I needed. I'm like, okay, well, let me look at my description, maybe rework any of the music, and then I reposted it, and it just blew up. Like I think it's almost at like 19 million now, and it's only been a couple of weeks.
Okay, so um let's sort of reverse engineer this so we make sure that we're all clear. So you had a video that
Mhm.
you posted just like any other video on your TikTok, and it got a lot of views. Like it
Mhm.
got a couple of 100,000 views, I think you had wrote. Is that right?
Yeah, so it hit like 470,000, and then it just stopped.
Okay. And did you think I'm shadow banned? You started comparing yourself to other people. So you were freaking out thinking there's something wrong with my account, or there's something wrong with this video for sure, but maybe there's something wrong with my account as well.
Absolutely. So I 100% went down that rabbit hole. I started looking for other videos that I had that did well and kept
Yeah.
growing, and I started reposting those
Okay.
just to see. I'm like, okay, well, I know on the Thursday calls that I always plug into, that Matt always says, like, the way you know your shadow ban is all your views will be 200 no matter what.
Right. All right. So, don't worry about the dog. I'll just mute you while I'm talking. He's probably letting us know somebody's out there or something, or somebody's coming to the door or whatever. Um, so so what you did from there is you kept posting on that same account, right?
Yeah.
You kept posting, right? So you kept marketing. You just that video had taken off, and over a period of a few days or a week or so, that's after that it had stopped. So you had continued to post on your account, and you continued to market, but you just noticed that, hey, what the heck happened to all those leads that were coming through from this video that's going viral, right?
Exactly. Well, so it hit 480,000 or 470,000 in a day. That's why it was so jarring.
Oh, okay. Okay. It went viral that fast. Okay. How long was it before you then took that same video that sort of nosedived and then reposted it?
I think it was about 3 weeks.
Okay. So you wouldn't recommend, based on your experience, to take a video and then like maybe repost it like the next day or a day
Yeah, or
after, but
probably not even the next
recycle.
week. Like, give it some breathing room.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But don't panic. Don't freak out when a video takes off and then just stops and it appears like there's something wrong with even your account.
Mhm.
I think that's a major takeaway. Did you panic?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, what can you look back about that specific, like the mentality and the kind of panic? What do you know now that you didn't know then?
Well, I obviously got in my head because I'm like, okay, well, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I getting reported? Like I basically just ran the whole gauntlet of every single thing that could possibly go wrong on a social media account to like, did my account get banned?
Yeah, but did you stop taking action at any point? Did you
No.
stop with your gosh, there's the key. There's and can you see right in this moment right now where so many people probably stop
Yeah.
right then?
They take that step back, overanalyze, and instead of just kind of control what they can. I mean,
Yeah,
algorithms are going to do what they do. Like, you have no control over it. The best thing you can do is be consistent about your content and your messaging.
yeah. And also not take it personally from the platform either, right? We were just talking a moment ago about not taking like comments personally, but also not taking however the technology acts personally, right? Like a lot of times I think that when something happens that somebody doesn't want to happen with their social media account,
Mhm.
they feel like they're being targeted, like they're out to get them or something, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like it's not personal. There's no need. It's like the more you can keep your emotions out of it, the better, because you're ultimately is all you're dealing with is robots and policies and procedures. There's nothing that like the platform, I feel like, doesn't even, I mean, they say they do, but view us like the platform doesn't even really view us like people anymore. I think, it's just robots who look at us like a number. But
Exactly.
so we have to really care for the people, our audience, and we have to really protect ourselves from the platform. One of the ways that we can do that is to not take it personally, not get emotional, and just diversify our accounts, diversify how many accounts we have, diversify how many accounts we have on different platforms, and not, not think that we have to play by the exact rules and do all this, because look, too many people play too nice and get all in their emotions about their social media accounts, and TikTok doesn't care about us. I mean, I don't mean that they don't care about us as humans, but you understand, they'll terminate your account and they won't care. You'll be done. You'll be gone. You'll be emailing customer support. Oh my God, can I get back in? I'll do anything. And they're just like, get away. You're one of 7 billion people that we don't, just go. So it's important to keep a level head when these things happen and not get too emotional, not take it personal, and just move with purpose, and make sure that you do everything that you can to protect yourself by diversifying with multiple accounts and also diversifying on multiple platforms. What say you about all that?
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I always think of I think Matt hits on the topic every single Thursday, omnipresence. It's about taking one video, posting it everywhere so that you're not focused solely on like, okay, well, what happens if this account shuts down? It's all about just kind of insulating your business, so no matter what happens, you're always going to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really is hard to keep going sometimes because this is new, and it's we want to be gentle, we want to be delicate, we don't want to anger anybody, we don't want to upset TikTok, we don't, so we kind of tiptoe our way through, and we, if a video or we get a little notification, we're like, oh, we must have done something wrong. But the truth is that you really can't break the internet. You can't break the internet. You aren't going to break people. You aren't going to hurt people by sometimes another example of this would be, well, I don't want to email too many times because I don't want to bother people, and it's like, look, as an affiliate, some of the best email marketing you can do is every day, every day until they buy, die, or unsubscribe. I mean, and I love my customers and clients. I love them. You all know, I don't have to say that. I show up every day. But in terms of my marketing and in terms of those daily income producing activities, I have to be somewhat robotic, not allowing various things to throw me off my game.
Absolutely.
And that's a great example. There's nothing better than there's no better example than being a new person and then having something dramatic happen in your account, and you feel shocked. You're like, oh, did I break something? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Did I do
Well, the
something?
funny thing is, like when I started, I had the inverse. So like I had 2 videos just absolutely go viral, and I was still in the process of setting up my funnel and my autoresponder. So I wasn't prepared for the traffic, which was kind of fun because I'm like, I think I always do my best work under pressure and scrutiny.
Me too. Me too, actually. That's kind of interesting that you know that about yourself. I wonder how many of the rest of us know how we operate the best. Do we operate the best when there's no deadlines and we just, or do we operate the best when we're under a bit of pressure or a lot of pressure, or when there's deadlines, or when our ass is against a hot back area and we're like, ooh, I don't want to go back, right? I'm getting pushed back, and it's like, you got to push back,
Exactly.
So what are some of the signs that you notice about yourself when you are feeling pressure? How do you know that you're ready and that you can do this? What do you tell yourself? What goes on? What sort of activities do you do to kind of get your mental and your confidence in the right place that it needs to be?
So one thing that I started to do is I read a lot of either self-help or just like business or even sales books. Like every morning, I try to read 15 minutes to just kind of pour in positivity, so I can kind of It kind of like just resets, gives me a clean slate for that day, so I can just tackle it. I try to do that stuff first thing, so that no matter what I do, I know I've already checked a bunch of boxes and I've won that day.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's a good routine piece. That's a good little it's a good little piece to put in there, and kind of have a home base that you check in every morning, and do. Some people have one of the things people do is listen to this Wake Up Legendary, every day,
Mhm.
and listen to a story, and or listen to an audio book. I prefer personally to listen to people talk free flowing, and tell their story that way, because you get, I feel like, the all the goodness, the nutrients, if you will, the spiritual and mental and emotional nutrients that I need. And a lot of times we downplay those nutrients, don't we? Because we only think that they come in the form of food, but they come also in the form of audio and video. They're mental nutrients.
Mhm.
And I like to hear stories. I like to hear people talking more authentically and more just off the top of their head and heart. And that really helps boost my confidence. That's just something that I've always done. I remember when I was early in sort of the kind of whole game, and I was uh, doing some events and speaking on some pretty big stages, doing the event model, the core four courses, coaching, and events, and affiliate marketing. And I can remember listening to some of the best speakers are MLM guys, like people from Amway and stuff like that. And I used to do some of those business opportunity MLMs and so forth when I got started. But anyways, I listened to some of their speakers, because they were great at talking. I listened to other, speakers. I remember going to a Tony Robbins event and hearing him speak and watching him speak, and then modeling his kind of, motions and stuff. And it made me feel more powerful. It made me feel more certain, more confident. So we've all got our own little ways, and I encourage everybody who's listening to try to figure out what is something that you can do in the morning to anchor yourself, and to insert a little bit of certainty and confidence. Not, when we turn on the news first thing in the morning, Joe, that's not inserting
No,
certainty and confidence. That's a great example of inserting a big old helping of in fear right down your throat, right?
exactly. Like nothing like starting with a bunch of vile and then just getting you instantly on the negative. And then
Yeah,
your entire day, you're already in that mindset. So it's easy to just kind of let that ball keep rolling.
yeah, yeah. So during the pandemic, I was watching more news than I'd ever watched in my life, because I was trying to track what was going on, and keep abreast of what was happening in our world. Like, I feel like that's a good time to try to tune in if there's an asteroid coming, or a pandemic, or some. It's kind of like, okay, Dave, gotta kind of check into reality and kind of pay attention. And so I was, and dude, I had never been so doubtful of myself, so fearful, and so uncertain as that period of time when I was watching a lot of news. Have you noticed any of that in yourself in watching news and plugging into current event type stuff versus, or even social media, limiting your use of social media personally?
Absolutely. So the funny thing, because of being consistent and making content, like when I'm on social media, I'm doing research. I don't doom scroll anymore, which I think has been amazing. So like every morning, I also walk the dogs, and like you said, like I'll usually listen to a Wake Up Legendary. That's my favorite time to listen to it, is on my dog walks.
Nice.
So like I feel like the stuff you can control, if you can make sure that you're starting with positive instead of the negative, I think you're setting yourself up for success as opposed to failure.
How have you dealt with people in your personal life as you've started this venture? Because from what I understand, based on reading your answers to our questionnaire, this is your first online venture that you've ever done, or business that you've even had or started. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's insane. Congratulations, man.
Well, thanks.
I mean, you said you had worked at a movie theater, and then when you stopped I guess, either going there or having that job, you're out in the remote middle of nowhere as well.
Mhm.
And so I would assume that um, that there's not a thriving economy right around you within.
No, so that mining town was like 2.1 miles around. Like I know that because I used to walk that loop with my dogs. So
Wow.
it like complete middle of nowhere, complete isolation. So that kind of led me to move to Vegas full time, and then last August, so it's officially been over a year since I lost my job. But what happened was someone full on lied, said I walked into her office and I like threw a credit card in her face and like just basically started dropping f bombs. And so like when I went and talked to the HR manager, he just basically told me to pack my stuff up. I'm like, so you don't even care that that's complete and utter fabrication?
Yeah. Well, that's corporate.
So
That's most jobs for you. Most companies, they. But anyways, continue.
So well, the thing that I liked about it, and I'm glad it happened because that was 100% the catalyst I needed. To I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to put myself in that situation again.
Mm,
So that got me starting to look. I'm like, okay, so what options truly are out there?
yeah. Yeah. So you had this event that happened to where a customer, something happened, and she embellished what happened, and they didn't even listen to your side of the story, just fired you after, I would assume, some time of good quality service that you dedicated to this job. And you were feeling pretty down and out, and you had never done. That's what I think I'd like to give people listening to this a bit of hope that even if you are in a situation to where you're feeling like the world's on top of you, man. I mean, you are really feeling like the world is on top of you. Within 6 months to a year, and I'm sure you were already feeling some of that weight off of your shoulders the first time we talked to you in February. But
Oh
now
yeah.
here I'm talking to you in August, and I don't know if you quite feel on top of the world, but it doesn't seem as if you feel like the world's on top of you anymore.
No, like I feel at peace now. Like I feel like I actually, for the first time in my life, truly have control over what I'm ultimately doing, and like my happiness isn't tied up to pleasing someone else.
Mm. So I notice in your handle is the Dutch entrepreneur. Are you Dutch?
I am. So I grew up in Holland until I was 11.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
DE is the in Dutch.
Ah, very cool, man. Very cool. What else do you want the audience to know about you and your journey?
Um, I mean, honestly, the biggest struggle that I think everyone's going to face is the 6 inches between their ears. You're going to overthink. You're going to overanalyze. The best thing you can do is take that first step. Just focus on what you can control. Make some content. It doesn't have to be good. I'm like, I deliberately leave up my first videos. They were awful, and they took me hours to make. Like, I'll go back and watch them, and like people, like my family, which they are completely supportive. Like I literally had one of my Dutch aunts message me this morning before I hopped on, wanting to know what it is that I do.
Mm,
So yeah, it's about kind of just control what you can. Like take one step. Eventually, you're going to figure out what your style is, and once you find your style and your voice, that's kind of when it all starts to click.
yeah. Well, here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing somebody who found their inner legend, and that's exactly what this is about. Maybe for a long time you were somebody in the family who didn't make many waves. Maybe your grandmother, your aunt, or whoever you just mentioned, maybe just thought, hey, kid works at a movie theater. I mean, he's just a average, whatever. Maybe you even felt below average. Who knows? I know that I did in many times in my life. And along a time, an opportunity presented itself, and you said, you pulled up your pants and you grabbed yourself and said, "Let's go." And challenges came up. Hurdles came up. All the mental garbage showed itself, and you decided, you were like, you know what? I'm gonna just release. I'm gonna go down and find down inside what I know is there. I know it's down in there, and I'm gonna finally go in there and get it, and I'm gonna release it. And you release your inner legend. That's what legendary marketer is all about. It's not me being a legend. I don't think I'm a legendary marketer. I'm just you know what I want to be as a legend in my own mind. Because the minute that you start to believe in yourself is the minute that your life changes. Not when everybody else believes in you. You know, the minute that you start believing in yourself. And I think there's a beautiful thing that happens here is that we believe in people until they can believe in themselves. But eventually, in order to have that breakthrough, you have to start believing and betting on you.
Absolutely.
Nobody else is. Nobody else is. Everybody will sit around and just accept you for being average. If that's what you want. And circumstances don't mean shit. And I've talked to enough people now who are in some seriously either isolated situations or just, they've overcome some shit. They're overcoming some real shit to do this. And so it's allowed me to even more so believe that every single person has that inner legend. And that's why I say, fuck average, be legendary, because it's a decision. Everybody is accepting of my averageness if that's what I want to do. They'd rather it. Most people would rather me just be average because then it doesn't make any waves in their lives. It's just everything's normal. Everybody just keeps getting to stay the same. Nothing has to change because change is hard.
Exactly. And most people aren't ready for it. They don't want to do that self-reflection and be like, you know what? I can do better.
Exactly. I can do better. I can do better. And striving and working and going for your goals really does make people have to look at themselves and what they have not made any effort on, all their inaction. And so it can make people, again, goes back to that projecting thing, project their toxicity onto us. Here's what I'm saying, my friends. Joe, what I'm saying to you, brother, is I see you releasing that inner badass, that inner legend. And what I'm saying to everybody who's listening is that inner legend is inside of you. Now, we're here to help you go inside and release it if you want to, but it ultimately has to be your decision. And it's in those dark moments. That's why I love the struggle. It's why I don't talk to gurus on Wake Up Legendary, other successful assholes, because I want to talk to people who are in the grind, in the struggle. That's where the most successful people stop being successful because they forgot about the shit you're in right now, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real shit, the basics, the trenches, the beginning. And if you never leave the basics, you'll never have to go back to them. All the shit you need to know about being successful in business, you're going to learn right here in your first year. You're going to learn it right here. And the problem is that you're going to get too big for your britches, or there's going to be distractions, or you're going to make some stupid gamble with your money. But everything you need to know to be successful is in your first year. And then a bunch of other complications and challenges come. But this is the miracle, the beautiful journey right here, this first year. And you're releasing that inner legend. You're battling and pushing up against that averageness. And you're doing it, brother. And you're setting yourself a foundation for your future. And man, that must feel empowering, brother.
It absolutely does. Like, yeah. Like I've always known I've had a creative side, but I've stifled it for so long that now really being able to kind of unleash that, like in my content, my copywriting, it's all just kind of been a blessing that like it's exactly what I've always wanted. I just didn't know it's what I needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. I mean, of course, man, the difference between what we want and what we need is sometimes it can be close, but most of the time it's really, really different and far, far away. You know what I mean? Like I want to be rich, and not really do much work. You know what I mean? I just want to be carried around. I just want to be, I want to be respected. Men, we want to be respected, but we don't do shit to earn the respect. You know what I mean? We don't want to do the work necessary to earn the respect. And I think the best gift that this business and being an entrepreneur and following through with your commitments and like just trying, you know what I mean? Like I got a saying that I say to my kids, keep trying, keep trying. That's all I say all the time. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and then they get it. And then they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you did that because you kept trying. And that's the biggest gift that I've got in this business more than anything, more than money, has been my confidence, man. It's been my confidence, my self-esteem, because with that, I can make any kind of money. I can make any amount of money. I can go anywhere. Confidence is the number one most profitable personality characteristic. It really is, man. I know some dumb dudes who are confident as shit and who are rich as hell, man. They're dumbasses, but they're just people just. So I got to have that confidence. I got to work on that self-esteem. And when I do, and I couple that with like good, solid information in a good, solid product or service, wow, that's when I build long-term, big time, serious money, serious wealth. And it lasts. It lasts because I can get all the skills, but I can get all the confidence, but if I don't like really have also some values and have a good product or service, it's not going to last. I become a con man, right? I become a confident con man. That's what you see a lot of these people out on the internet are. They got confidence, but they're con men, right? So if I couple that confidence with a good product or service and good solid follow through, doing what I say I'm going to do, this business is the best fucking business to be in, to do, because you can do it from home and you can apply exactly what we're talking about right here. Learning, developing some confidence, doing it from home, helping people, promoting good products and services, or even creating my own, and having a life full of freedom and full of fulfillment and full of esteem, right? To actually feel good about what I'm doing. And I would assume that is happening in your life as well. You're
Absolutely.
feeling some esteem and you're feeling more comfortable in your own skin, as you said, because you knew that you always knew you were creative, but maybe afraid to really, and now you're finding your voice and you're like, I'm actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, like before I started this journey, like I never posted anything on social media. Like I didn't like taking pictures of myself. I didn't like seeing myself on camera. So this is kind of like led to like me self-discovering that aspect of my life. And now like I have no problem making fun of myself even on video.
Yeah. Yeah, it's self-deprecating humor, dude. And it actually is it's a strategy you can use to get people to just like you more. If you read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, you'll find some of those some other strategies to use to just get people to like you more. And people already probably like you a lot, probably more than you think. And that's the liking gap, which is something I talk about a lot on the show. Google the liking gap, and it might be it's the liking gap. It's a disparity between how much you think people like you and how much they actually like you. It's a true phenomenon that all of us have within our own thinking in our brains. It's the liking gap. People actually like us more than we think. But then, as you said, once you actually start being yourself, instead of like, we really have this distorted kind of oftentimes personality after decades of other people trying to press their wants and needs onto us, that sometimes we really, when we start to talk and start to loosen up a little bit and start to be ourselves, we really have a lot of qualities about ourselves that we really love. and that are fun and that feel good. It feels good to let your hair down and just say some crazy shit and not have to worry about if so and so thinks it's the right thing to say or not. I mean, a lot of times we're dominated by even our parents' voices from growing up. And if we really can silence all of that and just really just get comfortable in our own skin, just embrace yourself, embrace. I mean, I was looking at my beard. Because I haven't shaved in a couple of, and I hate shaving. It's the worst thing in the world. And God, it's so white. I'm like an old, crusty man. But it's like, this is just me. I don't give a shit. I'm not trying to sleep with any of you anyways. I'm just trying to sleep with one person. That's my wife. And I won't leave her alone. But that's it. She don't mind it. So it's like, all these little pieces are things about myself that I've just realized over the years that are actually kind of quirky and cool. And so I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. Does that resonate with you?
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that a lot of us feel is just, God, I'm just kind of being tolerated here. And it's like, why? I'm a grown person. I don't have to. I think entrepreneurship can lead into a lot of other powerful questions that we can ask ourselves, about the people that we have in our lives and the activities that we're doing, and really how short life is and how much time we spend with people that don't make us feel like the best version of ourselves and doing things that we absolutely know are under and below our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a tragedy. So it's a beautiful thing when I see the Dutch entrepreneur doing his thing, brother. So final word goes to you. What would you say to people who are looking to get started or even start over, based on your experience and what you've done in, man, bro, August? I mean, what is that? That's the 8th month of the year. So if you roughly about 9 months, 3/4 of a year, you've been on this journey, and summarize it for us. I think would be I'd like to hear that. Summarize it for us in a sentence or two for anybody maybe who's just joining here these last few minutes, and then we'll wrap up.
I think people worry too much about the details. I think you need to get out of the details and just do.
I agree. The details, the devil, what do they say? The devil is in the details.
Exactly.
Which is such a weird thing to say, because don't they say that like what does that really mean? Like the devil, aren't people saying with that expression that like the details are important? But it's such a weird thing to say that the devil.
Yeah, it feels like an oxymoron, but it's
not.
not.
It does, but I agree with you, right? So let me give a practical example of what I think you mean by that, and then we'll still wrap up here in 5 minutes. A lot of times we come in and we just think that, hey, I need to perfect sales funnels in say ClickFunnels or whatever. I need to perfect this software before I move on. And what now 9 months into it is that getting it set up in the most basic way and just setting it and honestly forgetting it and working on traffic strategies is really what is the best thing to do. And then if you want to come back later and tinker with it a little bit later on, fine, but it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be active.
Let's be honest. How many times in the blueprints do you say ugly cells?
We'll just look at this is a fake. Only a mother can love, and people are saying we look alike. So hey, a couple of guys here, one from Holland, one from Florida, a couple of mugs only a mother could love. Brother, you've been inspirational this morning, man. So thanks, and also thanks for sharing your collection back there with us, and looking forward to hopefully a round 3 in the near future.
Oh, definitely, and this time we'll do it quicker.
Hey, man, I got all the time in the world to listen to a story like yours, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you later, and stay legendary, my friend.
Absolutely.
All right. See you, buddy. All right, my friends, go check them out. The Dutch Entrepreneur in D-E, Day. I don't know if it's de or day, but is the in Dutch. So that's a cool little thing to know, because I have visited Amsterdam, and I do have friends in the Netherlands over there. So I think everybody around there speaks Dutch. But anyways, cool place that all of us can go and visit. All of us can go and check out. And because of this business, I was actually able to go over there. And on that same trip back in 2013, I think, we went to Rome as well. And that's actually where I proposed to my wife, was in Rome on that trip. So very cool to just the people that you meet in this business, the things that you learn, the things that you get exposed to, whether that's the people or whether that's the money that you make, and then you can actually go to these places. It is such a blessing, so cool to do. And I'm so glad that on this Monday, August 22nd, the opportunity is still as big, and it's as powerful, and it's as exciting as it was last Monday, and the Monday before that, and the Monday before that, and the Monday before that, and the Monday before that. And so if you've been listening and sitting on the sidelines and wondering if you can do this, you can. Get started, and we'll support you along the way. If you don't believe in yourself, we believe in you. And I believe that if you get started and if you listen to these stories, that you'll start believing in yourself too. And you'll have a financial transformation, hopefully, right? That's ultimately the goal, but you'll have a personal transformation as well, which will lead to either a or more financial transformations, right? Everybody wants change, but nobody wants to change. And you know what the beautiful thing is? You don't have to just go and work on yourself. You can work on this business, and this business will give you opportunities to work on yourself. All right. Like Joe said, you just got to keep pushing through when those situations come up. Be legendary. We'll see you back here for another episode tomorrow.